Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. We start right here with breaking news. A man is dead after a shooting involving a Vance County deputy. It happened near the intersection of West Young Street and Parham Street. That's where we find WRAL's Willie Danley. And Willie, what are you learning tonight?
Well, Julian, I'm standing here on Young Street, and this is where it all happened. This is where that Vance County Sheriff deputy pulled the trigger in this fatal officer-involved shooting. Take a look at this video. This was captured by the WRAL breaking news tracker when they got on scene earlier today. The Vance County Sheriff's Office was not able to share a lot of information, but they did confirm that a man was shot and he was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. I spoke on the phone with May Bullock, who says she is the 7-month pregnant girlfriend of the man who was shot and killed. She tells me she was experiencing pain related to her high-risk pregnancy, and her boyfriend drove her to the hospital. She says a Vance County Sheriff deputy discovered that her boyfriend had a warrant out for his arrest and pulled them over. According to her, her boyfriend told the deputy that he needed to get his girlfriend to the hospital, and he was not getting out of that car.
He proceeded to run away from the police. The police chased him with his gun, and when he got back, he tried to mace him. And I told the police, I said, "Hey, I'm pregnant. Don't spray it, mace. I'm pregnant." And next thing I know, my boyfriend got in the car, and he proceeded to flee. And that was it. I was left standing on the side of the US 1 highway, and they didn't have no reason to shoot him for running. They could have tased him.
As of now, the Vance County Sheriff's Office has not released any more information about the identity of that suspect, but we have reached out to them asking about the moments that led up to this shooting and the officer who pulled the trigger. Willie Danley, WRAL News, live in Henderson.
Also breaking tonight, all eyes are on the Vatican. Pope Francis is in critical condition following a severe asthmatic respiratory crisis this morning. Once again, this is a live look at the Vatican this evening. The Pope is currently getting treatment in a hospital. WRAL's Megan Glova is in the live center with the latest on how the Pope is doing tonight. Megan.
Julian, the Vatican says he's conscious, he's alert, but is in more pain than 24 plus hours ago at this point. Some more key details here. The 88-year-old has been in the hospital for a week with a complex lung infection and pneumonia, and that is on top of a pre-existing lung disease. Now, he also got blood transfusions and high flows of oxygen to help him breathe. Again, I did mention his age and that pre-existing lung disease, but a big concern now is the onset of sepsis, which could be a complication of that pneumonia. Of course, a lot of people concerned about the Pope's condition tonight, especially because it's the first time the word critical has been used to describe his state in the past week, Julian.
A lot of prayers going out tonight. Thank you, Megan. Mooresville police confirmed a train struck a woman this afternoon. It happened shortly after 1 p.m., about 75 yards from the intersection of Chapel Hill and Mooresville Carpenter Roads. Police say a 31-year-old woman was trespassing on the tracks and was struck by a train. She suffered non-life-threatening injuries. She is being charged for trespassing on the railroad right-of-way. We've learned that a woman shot in Raleigh overnight has died, and another woman is charged with her murder. Officers responded to Casa de Luna Apartments on Bonneville Court around 3:30 in the morning. Police found 28-year-old Ashley Surlis with a gunshot wound. She died at the hospital. Police arrested 31-year-old Debria Moore. She faces first-degree murder and other charges. The Vance County Sheriff's Office has released the name of a man killed at a Walmart distribution center just yesterday. They say he was Josu Varela Rivera of Henderson. The Sheriff's Office said Rivera was operating a mechanical tow motor, attempting to move product when the accident happened. EMS and firefighters responded to the scene and tried to save Rivera's life, but he died moments before deputies arrived. The incident is under investigation by multiple agencies, including the Vance County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Labor. There was also a shooting overnight on Orchard Hollow Lane in Raleigh. Now, this right here is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker at around 1:30 in the morning. Now, it shows the taped off scene as police investigated around those townhomes right there. The person who was shot was taken to the hospital, and we are told they are expected to survive. So far, no arrests. Ukrainian supporters will mark 3 years since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine tomorrow. A rally is planned for downtown Raleigh between 4 and 7 p.m. Now, all of this comes ahead of a reported face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country is not prepared to accept any outcome from the talks since Ukraine has been completely sidelined in the negotiations. The Ukrainian Association of North Carolina is organizing tomorrow's rally. Durham's explosive housing market will soon become prevalent in tax bills this year. Property tax values in the county will see a significant increase because it's the first property reevaluation in 6 years. WRAL's Laura Levine explains the effort to prepare residents for the upcoming sticker shock.
It's no secret the Bull City is growing, and this new housing market is far from traditional.
The local real estate market over the last 6 years since our last reappraisal, 2019, has been an increase Durham's never seen before.
A lot has changed since 2019, the last time property revaluations occurred.
But I do expect the valuation to be increased because a lot of growth has occurred in Durham and a lot of people are moving in.
The county's median sales price jumped 74% from $239,500 in January 2019 to $416,000 in December 2024. Now tax administrator Kiara Doyle is hoping to help inform and prepare residents for what's to come.
I would say that the city, the urban area, the inner city of Durham increased the most. Overall, we're looking at about 75% increase since 2019.
Dozens of homeowners gathered at St. Joseph AME Church to learn how this will affect them, the appeals process, and if they qualify for certain tax relief programs. Some, like Stella Adams, expressed concerns for residents on fixed income in historically black neighborhoods, such as Bragtown. She fears they could eventually get priced out.
They're going to be asked to pay this astronomical bill going forward, and I just think that there needs to be some focus on the equity piece of this and making sure that we're not overtaxed and undervalued in our communities.
We asked Doyle how gentrification is playing a role in the latest data and where.
Most of the sales we saw that increased the most came from the inner city. So gentrification would be a direct reflection of those properties being bought for a cheaper price and sold at a higher price. And a lot of those properties were within the urban market areas.
He emphasizes the reappraisal will vary depending on where you live, but everyone should expect an increase. Residents could get their notices as soon as next Friday. The values will be set for the next 4-year period, and homeowners will have until mid-June to appeal. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Durham.
There is more we want to share with you about this topic. The reappraisal is only focused on tax value. The tax value then gets combined with the tax rate to get the next new tax bill. The county will begin budget hearings in March to determine what the tax rate will be when a new budget is adopted later this summer. We will continue to follow up. 37 states, including North Carolina, are demanding the FDA take action against those producing and selling counterfeit weight loss and diabetes drugs. They say due to rising demand and supply shortages, fake versions of drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy are making their way into the U.S. The fake pills often contain dangerous amounts of active ingredients or other harmful foreign substances, posing a serious threat. Now, here's some tips to follow. Always consult your doctor when taking new medications, and don't buy prescriptions from unknown sellers online. The North Carolina Democratic Party re-elected Anderson Clayton as party chair today. Now, in a wide-ranging interview with WRAL reporter Paul Spey, Clayton talked about her first term and her plans for a second.
They deserve to know who they're voting for and what they're going to stand for.
2 years ago, North Carolina Democrats surprised people by electing Anderson Clayton as party chair. Her opponent had been endorsed by some of the state's top Democrats, and Clayton had little track record. This year, her re-election is less of a surprise. Democrats didn't win North Carolina in the presidential race, but they won several statewide races in November, including the governor's race, the attorney general's race, and more. Clayton says the party also improved its operations on the ground.
We kept an organizing team called Project 100 in the North Carolina Carolina Democratic Party that was separate from the coordinated campaign and really helped focus on building up county party operations.
Ben Wickler is chairman of the Wisconsin Democratic Party. He says Democrats across the country are noticing Clayton's work.
Anderson is an electrifying leader, both in North Carolina and nationally. There are people across the country, especially young people, who see in Anderson the kind of fighter that they wish the Democratic Party had more of. I think her voice makes a big difference.
Clayton says there's still work to do. She wants donors to contribute more to the party in non-election years so it can reach voters more regularly.
We don't want to just show up at people's doors 5 or 6 months even before an election cycle. We want to be there year round, and we want to be talking to people in communities about how the Democratic Party is the party that's there to help them.
The state Republican Party says Democrats have an uphill battle. They gave us a statement saying today's Democrat Party stands for the liberal billionaire elites and is out of touch with the working men and women of our state and country. Paul Spey, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Clayton also spoke to Paul about Kamala Harris's loss in North Carolina and repairing the Democratic Party's image. Now go to WRAL.com for tomorrow morning to find out more about the interview. Wheels Up, the popular international resort town you can now fly to with Avelo Airlines. Plus, coast-wide cleanup. We take a look at the coordinated effort to net hundreds of pounds of trash along our coast. Anthony.
Julian, this evening we see some chilly temperatures across the area, mainly in the upper 40s right now for us around the triangle. We do, though, have some warmer weather on the way. Who could hit 70? We'll talk about that right after this break.
Here's a live look at Beaufort right there. Don't you want to break out your camera and just take a shot of that? It looks beautiful. Welcome back. A coordinated effort at the coast netted hundreds of pounds of trash thanks to the efforts of these volunteers right here. Recently, the North Carolina Coastal Federation hosted a coordinated coast-wide cleanup. The group is also working with commercial fishing crews to find and remove lost fishing gear from the water. Organizers say the combined effort will go a long way in ensuring North Carolina's waters remain healthy.
We rely so much on this coast, and so it's very inspirational to be out here working with the volunteers. They're sacrificing their time, their energy. They come in their jackets and ready to work through the brisk cold weather and get this marine debris out of here.
We all occupy this ground, and it's nice to keep it as natural and as nice and a pleasant place to be as we can make it, which includes, unfortunately, to some extent, picking up after others.
We are so thankful for their efforts. The Coastal Federation says they document and track the debris found during these cleanups to see what can be done to prevent future buildup. Avelo Air launched its second international route today, taking passengers from RDU to Punta Cana International Airport. So many people are excited about this. Punta Cana is a popular resort town in the easternmost region of the Dominican Republic. One-way fares start at $129. Avelo will operate this route twice weekly on Saturdays and Wednesdays. All right, Anthony, earlier in the week, I would say go ahead and get your ticket because of all of that snow. But right now, things are quiet and we can see the runway out at RDU.
Yeah, if you're flying, it's a quiet night for it, Julian. I'm thinking that trip, though, sounds nice to get some warmer weather. But we do have some warmer temps on the way, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. If you don't like the chilly or at least cool weather we have out there right now, things are going to be changing for us. We have this cloud cover, though, that's pushed in. Makes it feel a little bit gloomy out there at the moment. There's our RDU camera, though. Everything moving along smoothly. The planes should be good to go. Once they get above that, it's going to be clear skies and really no major issues across the entire region. What we have going on is high pressure. So anytime we have high pressure, generally speaking, it's pretty calm weather underneath of that. It's sinking air, so it's kind of pushing down on the surface. We can't get much to form as far as storms and big winter systems or anything like that. There's a little bit of a pocket kind of just some energy, just passing on by, kind of distributing it through the atmosphere in western North Carolina. You see that's getting closer to us. That is why we have the cloud cover out there right now. But contrary to what the radar is showing at the moment, the air above the surface is very, very dry. So any of those returns, that kind of rain activity you saw in there trying to fall to the surface, not likely to do so. So we should stay dry here through tonight. We're at 41 in Rocky Mount, 48 in Raleigh, 43 in Roxborough, 48 also in Southern Pines. It's chilly, yes, maybe a jacket and then maybe a coat later on this evening, depending on when you're headed out. We're going to drop on down here to the upper 20s and low 30s tonight. It will be a good morning to bundle up, but but dress in some layers because we hit a high tomorrow of 56. That's about what we hit today. Actually, a little bit warmer, a couple degrees warmer, but we should still feel relatively similar, if not a little bit better. It comes with sunshine, just a few clouds. It's going to be a nice end to the weekend. And then we go into next week, seeing temperatures warm up here into the 60s and 70s. Area-wide, though, tomorrow again, probably 53 there in Roxborough, upper 50s for our southern counties. It's going to be a beautiful day, though. Sunshine, a few clouds. The cloud cover we have out there right now is going to push out. Look at temperatures, though. What a difference, right? A couple days makes, a week makes, besides the snow that we saw. 56 tomorrow, 62 on Monday. We go all the way to 72 degrees by the time we get to Thursday. We're talking winter coats versus shorts, sunglasses, and T-shirts potentially by the time we head later on into the upcoming week. That will be a huge difference. The Climate Prediction Center, too, here as we go into March. Hard to believe, first of all, that we're already talking about that. They do, though, have us back in below normal temperatures. That would be about 50 to about 55 or so. So we are not done with winter, but we're in this period. If you've lived here long enough or for a short period of time, you know we have those swings up and down, and that's likely to continue here as we have that kind of false spring, if you will. Our next weather maker comes in, though, Thursday into Thursday night. Could bring us some rain chances. It's going to be a cold front coming through. It'll take our temperatures there from that 72 you see on Thursday, dropping it down to 58 by the time we get into Friday. Next couple days, though, we're at 56 tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 62 on Monday, 69 Tuesday. We cruise on up there, 72 degrees by the time we get to Thursday, Julian. That will feel very nice and still pretty manageable next weekend. By the time we get to Saturday, we're still at 65. I'm ready for the 70s. I don't know about you.
I can see it in your eyes. I know you're ready, Anthony. I'm ready too. Let's go. Let's go 70s.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Anthony. NC State had its back against the wall for a while now, but after the loss to UNC on Wednesday, they need a hero. How a freshman got a chance and made the most of his opportunity for the Wolfpack. All of that next in sports.
NC State is at the end of a rough season with an ACC tournament berth on the line. Head coach Kevin Keatts turns to freshman Paul McNeil, giving him a start for the first time in his young career, and Paul McNeil delivered. Instant impact. Dontrez Styles, corner three, no good. McNeil with the offensive rebound and lays it in. He's not just about crashing the boards, he's also about shooting from the outside early on. That is good. NC State started on an 11-0 run. Michael O'Connell for three, no. McNeil rebound because, of course, O'Connell three again. And it is good. He was really feeling it as well. Wake Forest didn't lay down. Trayvon Spillers is going to get this shot to fall for three. Demon Deacons take the lead, about 10 minutes remaining. But the Wolfpack offense didn't stop. O'Connell dribbling to his right, bounce pass to Ben Middlebrooks, wide open in the paint for the slam. The point guard had 13 assists. Dontrez Styles three, that is good. Styles had 22 points. But only right for this to end with Paul McNeil. Step back, dagger three for a career-high 24 points. Wolfpack beat Wake Forest 85-73. The final score. Keatts reflects on McNeil.
You know, he's grown, man. God, if you would have saw him the first month or two, man, what a talented high school scorer. But, you know, couldn't guard anybody, didn't have, you know, any interest in guarding anybody. Really wasn't making his shots, wasn't in shape. Really loved college basketball. I mean, really loved college life. NC State, like I had to bring him in at one point. It's like, man, are you partying every night? But that's what freshmen do.
The maturation for McNeil. Here's a look at the bottom of the ACC. Remember, State needs to be 15th or better to make the conference tournament. Cal plays Stanford tonight. NC State and Syracuse play next week. Surprisingly, a lot on the line in that one. Let's head to Chapel Hill. UNC versus Virginia. Tar Heels trying to make it 3 straight wins in ACC play. UNC finding new life with Jalen Withers in the starting lineup. Withers delivering against the Cavaliers. Knocks down the three. His confidence seems to be at an all-time high. Speaking of confidence, Drake Powell, my goodness, might be the highlight of the year. Right there puts UNC up 21-2 to start this one, staying in it thanks to some questionable calls, we'll say. 3-point shot goes. Elijah Saunders knocks it down. Ian Jackson gets it back at the other end. Step back three. UNC 46-34 at half. They go on to win 81-66 the final. The Hurricanes are back with Game 1 post-Four Nations face-off starting tonight in Toronto. Then they go to Montreal, then come home for a 3-game stretch in 4 days. The season is about 3/4 of the way over, just 26 games remaining. Canes are third in the East with 70 points, second in the Metro behind the Capitals. Carolina lost 3 of 4 in the month of February before going to the break. Not exactly what you want after the Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall trade, but there's still plenty of hockey left to go before the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, definitely want to start tomorrow night right off the bat. We don't want to tiptoe in the back to the regular season. We want to, have a good start here again, and then kind of go from there. You don't want to think too much ahead of yourself, but kind of just take day at a time.
Puck drops in Toronto at 7 p.m. We'll have highlights for you tonight after the game on Fox 50 and WRAL, Julian.
Thanks, Lewis. And thanks for joining us tonight. NBC Nightly News is next. Have a great night. We'll see you later.